Tulsa is a mid-sized city, 410,000 people in Tulsa itself, about 1 million people in the metro area. You know, I'm a Tulsa native, so I really wanted Tulsa to be known in the law enforcement world, where we're more strategic and more precise in how we approach crime.
I ran for mayor because I wanted Tulsa to be a globally competitive world-class city. For us, we really define that in 3 ways. Number 1, we have to be a safe city. 2, we have to be a city of opportunity for all Tulsans. And 3, we want to be physically building this city that this generation of Tulsans wants to leave to the next. And I've spent my years as mayor focused on doing everything I can on those 3 tracks.
When you talk about the history of Tulsa, this is ground zero for race relations in America. You have this racial hotbed. You have the 1921 Tulsa race riot, now the race massacre. As difficult and as uncomfortable that is, you have to have that to point to. That was a time in history that we hang our head. That was a time in history where we regret, but it's also a time to say we're so much better than that. We have not moved beyond it, we are learning from that.
In the last few years, we commemorated the centennial of the worst incidents of racial violence in American history in a city, the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. And so much of what we have focused on doing as a city in the 21st century and building a police force that everyone in our community can have trust and faith in has been within the context of learning more and more about that horrible event and thinking through how we can make sure something like that never happens again.
For as long as I know, since I've grown up here, and my father was a Tulsa police officer as well, Tulsa has struggled with its violent crime problem.
We were so ingrained in using a shotgun method approach to policing, where we had an issue in an area and we would just saturate that area. And you're stopping good people out there too. And the good people don't want to be stopped. They want you to handle the problem, but we don't want to put them in the mix as well. So when we said we're going to start looking at a different way of policing, that was something new for Tulsa.
This community is very important to me. I grew up here. I went to high school in Tulsa, went to college just down the road at Oklahoma State. I went to law school at the University of Tulsa. I joined the Department of Justice in 2001 because I wanted to make a difference. I'm made aware of a lot of the programs that are in the Department of Justice, and one of those programs was PSP. So we approached the Tulsa Police Department in 2018 and asked them if they would be interested in applying for this program because we knew we had a violent crime problem in Tulsa, and we also knew that we wanted to try to attack that crime problem strategically. And we thought the PSP program would be the perfect vehicle to make that happen.
When PSP decided to host their conference here in Tulsa in 2022, it was an exciting moment for all of us.
We were able to bring over 450 individuals from across the country, police chiefs, district attorneys, U.S. attorneys, special agents in charge of the FBI, the DEA, to collaborate for 3 or 4 days here in the city of Tulsa to talk about our successes, our challenges, the problems we had, and how they could best overcome that as they continue their journey through the PSP process.
I think a lot of law enforcement agencies, just because of the nature of what we do, we will get in our own little bubble and silo a bunch of information. But what PSP really helps us do is to bring us out of that shell and look at other agencies' best practices.
My vision was very focused beforehand until my first PSP summit. When I met with other department leaders and saw the way that they were operating, that opened my eyes and said, we are archaic in how we are operating in Tulsa.
The public safety partnership helped us, 1, see our blind spots, but 2, also give subject matter experts the reinforcement of what we've been asking for or been talking about that this department needs to help keep Tulsa safe. And so bringing that all together, it was extremely impressive.
The National Public Safety Partnership Summit, it allowed a safe space especially after the summer of George Floyd, for law enforcement communities to say, hey, guys, we got to face this. We have a perception problem.
As we moved through the PSP program and saw how other departments were using data, I said, we have got to do this at our department.
We didn't always give the full time and attention to non-fatal shooting that we would have liked to. The PSP non-fatal shooting assessment did give us leverage we needed to move forward and make those changes. The results have been phenomenal. It definitely has improved the quality of our investigations.
Our working relationship with PSP was in a technology assessment and showing how we could improve with technology. And we've been able to work through those recommendations. We've established almost every single one of them, and they all fed into this reality of setting up a real-time information center.
So nice to see, 4 years later, to be here standing in the real-time information center. So I'm just very excited about the progress that Tulsa made in the program. Tulsa is a model site, so we're just very happy for you all.
The mission of the Real-Time Information Center really is on improving officer safety and improving our response to calls for service. And so our day-to-day operations really are allowing our 911 center to be the ears that we're listening to and allow us to be the eyes of what's happening at the location, so we can give as much information to our officers that can respond appropriately.
If there is no public safety partnership, we don't have a real-time information center in Tulsa. We can deploy technology where we're making better use of the officers that we have and more efficient use of their time. And I think our real-time information center is going to make a huge difference in us being able to do that in Tulsa.
In my 27 years on Tulsa Police Department, I can honestly say I've never experienced anything like the PSP program. It's been extremely valuable in ways I never would have anticipated.
It is just amazing the difference that we've actually had these last 2 years, and I would say without a doubt that PSP is what actually facilitated a lot of the changes.
It was walking into that program with our eyes completely wide open, with our minds completely open to change and to advice and suggestions, that's why we were able to make progress.
It's like the adage of, you drop a pebble in a pond and it reverberates. What is happening in Tulsa and what we were able to do is reverberating to other communities. I think it has powerful impact for where policing goes in the future.
There's only so much you can do by yourself. Having national experts and partners help guide you towards being a better local police department is, I think, absolutely crucial to doing the best job that we can.